most of you know me as Dorothy. I am a minister, so Imogene used to have fun with that. We'd go places and she'd say, "This is my minister," or sometimes she'd say, "This is my sister." She liked to play around that way. But we're gathered here today to honor the memory of our friend and relative, Imogene Poyser. Imogene was born on November 16th, 1930, which made her 83 years young. She was born in Albion, did I say that right? Albion, Indiana. She had 2 brothers and 1 sister, and she was the 3rd child. She went to school there up until about the 10th grade. She worked at a place called Essex Wire, but we don't know what she did there, but she worked there. And then later on she had a job as a waitress, and she told me many stories about her waitressing job and about customer service. And if we went out places and the waitress wasn't top-notch, she would tell me a story about it and about how she was trained to give excellent service. Very young, she married Frederick Poyser, who unfortunately she later divorced after her 4 children were born. And due to Fred's job, that brought her and the family to Albuquerque. And after the divorce, and I don't know how long, but she met and then fell in love with Frank Wells, who apparently was the love of her life. And some of you who are neighbors might have known Frank. Imogene worked at a place called Value House. It was a catalog order store we had here in Albuquerque. And she worked at the one up in Wyoming, and I used to shop there. And I think I might have met her there. I'm not sure. I don't remember. She owned her house on Madeira since 1969. So, Imogene was known, everyone seemed to know her differently. I knew her one way, and she was a feisty person. She was extremely and fiercely independent. I called her stubbornly independent. As I had the privilege of spending a lot of time with her and helping her out some and taking her to doctor's appointments and stuff like that. And I met Imogene actually through my dad. She and some neighbors and my dad all went to the senior center for breakfast and for lunch. And my dad's house, my house where I live now, was on their way. So they would stop by and pick up my dad. And then some years later, my dad got ill. But before that, whenever I'd go out of town, Imogene would be in charge of my dad. She'd take him out to lunch and take him out to dinner. I left her some money, and they had a great old time. And it was just friends, and she wanted to make sure that my mother knew it was just friendship, because Mom was in a nursing home. And the only thing was that Imogene would say that she would babysit him, and my dad had a fit. He didn't want to be babysat, but it was just a habit of hers and very hard for her to break. Later on then, when my dad got ill and I was working, Imogene, with her giving heart, came to my house and helped me take care of my dad in the week between getting out of the hospital and making his transition or passing away. She was there, she helped me change diapers and stuff like that. And it was just the giving part of her that did that. So she could be sweet, she could be stubborn, and she was very, very giving and caring also. So I have this, are you familiar with the 23rd Psalm? Most of you are. The Lord is my shepherd. My sister sent me this, because my sister knew Imogene well, and Imogene and I spent several Christmases and Thanksgiving at my sister's house. And she sent me this to read for her, and it's the 23rd Psalm read from the bottom to the top, and it goes like this. I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. My cup overflows. In the presence of my enemies, you anoint my head with oil. You prepare a table before me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You are with me. I will fear no evil. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, he leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. He restores my soul. He leads me beside still waters. He makes me lie down in green pastures. I shall not want. The Lord is my shepherd. I think it puts a whole different twist on it, and I love it. So that's from my sister Denise. So I told you a little bit about Imogene, and we're going to hear another song now. And after this song, I would like you all to have the opportunity to come up and share a memory that you have of Imogene. For me, especially something funny. But what are we're going to hear?
Serenade by Angels.
Serenade by Angels now.
Between her and me.
was pretty. I hadn't heard that one before. So now we'd like to invite you, if you would have a little story to tell or just a little goodbye you'd like to say to Imogene, we invite you to come up and say whatever you like. If that's too difficult for you, then you're welcome to just speak from where you are. So the podium is open. You can use the microphone if you want.
I think my voice is loud enough.
Okay.
I'm Imogene's oldest daughter of 4, and the one, like everybody says, she was a feisty woman, and stubborn. That's where I get mine from and stuff. But the best memory I had of my mom is when we lived in Indiana, just before we moved to Arizona. It was Christmas time, I think it was. And we would wrap up gifts, not necessarily in the box that they came in. And she wanted an iron for Christmas. And we bought it, and it was in the box it belonged in. But when she was opening it up, we told her it was just a brick. So she wouldn't know what it was. And then when, we kidded around with that and stuff. But she opened up and realized it was an iron. Of course, she would cry about it and everything else. And another time is, I remember, she was at work. The 4 of us were at home, and we got into a pillow fight. I don't know if you boys remember that or not. And we broke the one lamp. And we wouldn't tattle on each other, because they told us you don't tattle. So we didn't. Well, we all got spanked for it. To this day, I still don't know who broke it. But my mother put that lamp back together, glued it all back together except for a little piece around the extension cord. And she sewed it as is. Someone bought it. But those are the 2 memories I had the most of my mom. So it's going to be hard for her to be gone, but she's in a better place now. So, and she's all looking down on us. So she's going to give little signals here and there that she's around. So we won't forget about her at all. So those are the best memories I have of her.